The means by which they brought us over here was not to save us, was to what? Enslave us. So you think a man who would not treat you or teach you right would treat you right? So a man like Noble Drew Ali, which is known as Prophet Noble Drew Ali, is essential for the resurrection of that which Caucasians put under.
Talk to him.
He can't bring nobody into life. When the whole objective of this enemy in this world was to put us down, take our life. So the means by which you're doing it is a proof from my vantage point from the way of God. And I say this in closing, that God is not the author of confusion. He is the author of peace. So anytime we say Islam, that's all we're offering is what? Peace.
Islam. I hear you.
And so Brother Taharkabey talked about law. And we're taught in the Nation of Islam that the first law of the universe is motion. And the second law is order. So that basically means anything that we put in motion must come under some type of order to reap the real benefits of success. So laws, what he talked about, what Noble Drew Ali established, is essential for success itself. You and I know that there's a law of gravity.
That's right.
I don't care how bad you think you are. You walk off that cliff, that law of gravity gonna kill you. Is that right? So law, as a man is a builder, he knows there has to be law in order to build this structure here. He can't build this house without law. He can violate law if he wants to. What's gonna happen to the roof? It'll fall on your head. So in order to build organization, in order to build people, there's a law that must be inculcated in order to ensure the success of that which you started. So law is necessary. Order is necessary. Taharkabey is necessary. You are necessary to bring about what this man has started by the grace of Allah. And my last point is this, that God inspired myself to do what we do through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, asking us to go back in our communities and make them a decent and safe place to live. And he's not lying. I wasn't, Jesus didn't cast a rod, he cast a what? A net.
That's right.
So when we go down to Annapolis, knowing the dynamics of Annapolis, I may get one or two people talking. And I could catch somebody like that. But Annapolis, you need to cast a net for them. You know what I'm saying? So Black History Month is a month that Black people like. So we know the significance of that. So we cast a net. Family Day is something that we need. And everybody, if you don't know Annapolis really is cohesive. Everybody know everybody, and everybody related to somebody. So we have to use wisdom and skill to be able to affect change properly. So the proper language is Family Day, because our objective is that we are one what? Family. So I say that in closing. Moorish is our family. The nation of our family is our family. Christians are our family. We're one family under God. Thank you for listening. May God bless you with the light of understanding. Peace. Peace.
So family, and I'm telling you, the inspiration of my brother Troy X is real. And to me, because I seen it in living color. You know what I'm saying? I seen it in living color. I was just like, man. And I gotta be real. I always said, what are the Moors really doing to affect on a macro? You know what I'm saying? We affect on a micro, but what are we doing to reflect on a macro? And that's what I think that we need to begin to think about. And so, honor to my brother Troy. Let's give our brother Troy X a round of applause. Thank you, Troy. So with that being said, I want to bring a few people up real quick before we break bread. Y'all gonna hear me say some of the same things. Aline, hold on, Aline. Y'all gonna hear me say some of the same things, right? Because each and every person that I asked to come has been an inspiration to me. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna hear me say kind of the same thing, because I'm serious. Each and every person, we could have easily rented a hall and said Taharkabey doing this, and people be busting out the doors. But I asked my friends, I ask the ones that I love and the ones that love me. You know what I'm saying? And so you're gonna hear me kind of say some of the same things.
Praise the Lord.
But I wanna bring my brother Young Bay. I want to bring my brother Young Bay forth, because I just sit back and I just watch people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like people say I talk a lot, but I do a lot of paying attention to it. And I just watched the brother just put tables out front of his temple in New York and just say, "We got some food for you. We got something for you." And he just go live. It might be 3 or 4 people watching. I'm one of them 3 or 4 people. But he ain't concerned about the 3 or 4 people watching. He concerned about the 3 or 4 people that need something that's walking past. You know what I'm saying? And him and his wife, Yolanda Young Bay, I'm just saying, man, they are inspiration to me because I'm watching the humble beginnings. And I'm watching them give a part of themselves. You know, that in fact, this journey that we take as Moorish Americans, if you ain't been beat down once or twice and you still here, if you still here after you've been beat down once or twice, you deserve your spot. Because Moors take a beating. Y'all might don't know about it. We take a beating. And the beating comes from each other. I'm telling you, man, we think that we the sharpest knife in the drawer. More, I'm trying to tell you, my father used to say, "Man, you red hat wearing them ever think y'all know everything." That's my father used to tell me. And it's true. You know what I mean? Like it's an old saying. I'm like, man, Moors know everything, man. But that knowing everything has been to our detriment. It's been to our detriment, meaning that we don't know nothing. You know what I mean? A wise man know that he's a fool. And a fool know that he's wise. Think about that. With that being said, I want to bring my brother Young Bay forth and say a few words to the people. And we're talking about the spring equinox. And the spring equinox is the beginning of new life, new birth. With that being said, Brother Thomas, Bay Islam, we're going to be setting up another table right here in a minute. Islam, so we got people moving in real quick. Islam.
Islam Moors. Islam Moors. Forever rising and give praises to Almighty God Allah, the author, the governor, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. Thanking Almighty God Allah for my life, my health, and my strength. Thanking Almighty God Allah for the warm Moorish blood that runs through my veins. Thanking Almighty God Allah for sending us a true and divine prophet. The last prophet in these days and times, besides him, there is none other to come. He was born in the state of North Carolina, January the 8th, 1886. He came with a divine message. Come, all you Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about yourselves. Because you're not Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians. He said, come and link yourselves with the families and nations. United we stand, divided we fall. We're trying to uplift fallen humanity. Islam Moors. I want to give honor to all our great fathers and mothers who kept the doors of the Moorish Science Temple of America open since 1929. I want to give honor to the master of this house. Spirit man is the master of the house, which is more honorable than the walls. But I want to give honor to a supreme grand sheikh, Taharkabey. Built the temple from his hands with the work of his hands. Yes, so he manifesting with it, what's in his mind. If you look what's outside, I want to give honor to my wife, Divine Minister Yolanda Young Bay. I want to give honor to the Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Grand Sheikh Billy Dendermill. I want to give honor to the Supreme Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I want to give honor to our visitors who made time, our family who made time to come out. Because you could have been somewhere else doing something else. Praise Allah. But if you look outside, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I incarnated in Baltimore, Maryland in 1971 in Sinai Hospital. And I've been living in New York State since 2001, building temples in New York State. So I'm familiar with this neighborhood, and it's going to be an oasis. When I seen the sign, when we came down, they say,
you wicked and perverse generation of people look for a sign. Isn't that what they said to Jesus?
That's what they said.
He said there will be no more signs but the sign of Jonah. Because just as Jonah had to go down into the belly of the whale, Jesus had to go into the belly of the earth for 3 days. Is that right? So we talking about resurrection.
Yeah.
We talking about life. We talking about the call back to life in a place where degradation is on board, where misery, where suffering, etc. And the sheikh said that who's going to do it?
We are.
You got to look for a self-savior, Allah. If man will find his devil, he must look within. His name is self. But if you will find your savior, you must look within. His name is self. So Noble Drew Ali is the savior of humanity. Yes. But we're not waiting for a physical manifestation of Noble Drew Ali to come back to save us. It's no different than if you went in, if the American people, which we are a part of, went into war to battle, they're not going to call on George Washington because George Washington is not here in the physical. They're going to call on all that they've learned from George Washington, the teachings of George Washington, the spirit of George Washington. That's what we're doing with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because spirit man never died. I give honor to all the forms that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has been in. Praise Allah. Unity. I think that's what the most said. Unity. Praise Allah. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali gives us the chapter in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble Prophet Drew Ali, divinely prepared by the noble Prophet Drew Ali to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father, God Allah. We're prepared to answer the tough questions in our community. When you come around religious people, non-religious people, intellectuals, freedom fighters, people who stir up everybody who's trying to help, sometimes we get caught up in trying to out-top one another in knowledge, in degrees, who has the most lessons, who has the etc. You follow me? And then meanwhile, nothing gets done. But we're prepared for the tough questions. I would like to introduce you. How many people are familiar with bears? Just by a show of hand, bears. You ever heard of an Asiatic bear? What about a grizzly bear? What about a polar bear? A black bear? A brown bear? So now, what is the terminology for a bear de-teethed, untoothed, without teeth? Huh? Gummy bears. Praise be to Allah and honor the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You see, it's not that serious. But this is what we do to one another. Instead of getting something done, we bring a problem that nobody knows the answer to, and then we give an answer, and then we having a meeting all over again. I only wanted to soften up the crowd a little bit. Our Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches us that ye are the children of one Father. I'm going to say what our Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. He says in chapter 25 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm going to come down right after this. If you know it, recite it with me, because this is what brings us together. Unity is just simply collaboration, being able to work with one another. It don't mean you have... Let's recite what the Prophet says. Let's read what the Prophet says. A holy covenant for the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy Father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger for thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Islam, when they come to you with the tough questions, ask them about some bears. And then it's not that serious. Let's roll up our sleeves and get something done. Islam. So I salute you, Brother Taharkabey, and all that you've been doing. I'm a truth teller. I used to didn't support this Mo. I thought he was a loud Mo. But I told him that when I first talked to him. I didn't support him. I didn't understand him. But I watched what he was doing. Forget about what a person is saying. You look at the result of what they're doing. And then if that is in balance of what they're saying, the end result
Praise be to Allah. So I,
Man, you ain't like
no, because I ain't understand him. I didn't understand him. I didn't understand his techniques.
You gotta know the heart.
I didn't understand his techniques, but I do know that he's a brother that has stood the test of time, and he stood some persecution, and he continues to go on and on and on. And even if he's wrong, he's willing. He's a leader will make a decision even if they're wrong. And a leader has to make a decision and live with that decision if they're wrong or they're right.
Right.
So I see the man as a leader, learning from his experiences, his family's coming together, etc. Praise Allah. I'm glad to be an ally, a Muslim ally sheik with Brother Taharkabey. And I ain't afraid to say it in the public.
That's right.
Praise Allah.
Oh my goodness. Push this back just a little bit. Push this back just a little bit. Let's give our brother Young Bay a round of applause. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, this is a real deal. When the brother said that, I said in the public, some people be bashful. I'm too loud on the internet. They be bashful like, man, brother, just call me. We ain't gonna do this in the public. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, fam. Let me see where we at with time, because we are. Let's see where we at with time. So I want to give a few brief things real quick. I want to give y'all just a understanding for those who are not familiar with the Moors. I want to bring up one of our sheiks from our administration. This brother, beautiful brother here. If anybody's seen the Noble Temple hot sauce, he actually helped design and a special blend of our own natural hot sauce, no vinegar included. I designed the art. He did the rest. He's a grower. He's a planter. He's a manufacturer. He's everything. And so we have Noble Temple Foods, and we've been rolling out the hot sauce. The first time that we rolled out, it went so fast we had to go right back to batch. We had to stop promoting it because we sold it so fast on the internet. We just stopped. And we like, hold up, we can't promote it no more because people was buying it so fast. And so we just stopped. And now I think we're ready to rock and roll again. We got enough batches now to keep it moving. And so I got to give honor to this. But this brother, man, give him one. This is my brother. This brother here, hold up, I can't stop. This brother here, right? I'm one of them. If y'all ever see me on the internet, I'm super loud. It's just what it is. I try, I test everything, I talk, and I go on and on. But this brother sends me an email one time and said, listen, I would like to help you out. I get these emails all the time. Anybody that's in the uplifting business, you know how it goes. You get these emails all the time. Some of them is just whatever, and some of them is like, man, okay, let me see about this. And so his email, it wasn't a whatever, it was, I'm going to get to it, when I can get to it. I never got to it. The next thing I know, he was joining the temple. And this was about a year later or something. He was joining the temple. And he didn't even mention nothing about him trying to help the endeavor to raise money for the temple. He didn't mention about that. He just started digging knee deep into the lessons. He ain't say nothing about that. And then one day he mentioned about his business. That's how it happened. The soul sauce. The soul sauce. I said, bro, ain't you the one that sent me the email a year ago? Wow. He was like, yeah, I felt a little bit crazy, what I mean? Because I didn't get back to him. He said, yeah, Islam, Grand Sheik. I said, man, we got to get busy. And so we got busy. It took us about six to 8 months collaborating, and then we got it done. It's ready to rock and roll. I'm talking about all labels, like same thing you see in the store, all official. This is not sitting on your countertop with a little funnel like you put in your oil in your car. No, this is the real deal. Got the nutritional facts and everything on the back. So I want to bring him forth. This is also our business manager, our national business manager, Sheikh Mazouk Razin El. And the brother, this is another thing he did. So many of us in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we or in other organization, with all respect, we come when we show up to the obligation. Was obligatory, you know what I mean? Where our Friday holy day meeting, we show up. Our Sunday school, we show up. this brother began to take classes from an esteemed scholar to get a full working knowledge of what it means to be a Moor from a historical perspective. See what I'm saying? He took it upon himself, and I would be like, man, what this brother be talking about? Where get this from? Because his knowledge is just start flowing. And I found out, man, he took a special time out of his life to be tutored or under the tutelage of Sister Dana Marnichi, who is a true scholar. I'm talking about college professor type scholar. And he took that and so he brings it back to the temple. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a scholar of Moorish science. In other words, Moorish science. I can give you the history of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I can give you the ins and outs. I can give you everything with receipts. I can do it all day long. But this brother is a scholar in the making of the history of the Moor from antiquity forward. And so I want him to just share a few words, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and just give us some ideas of what it means to be a Moor from antiquity and from some of your studies. Islam? Islam. Let's give our brother a round of applause.
I rise and give praise to Allah, great God of the universe. I want to give high honors to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to give honors to everything that's been honored before me. Islam. Let me share a little bit more about myself. I'm from, grew up in, was raised in Columbus, Ohio. And I came up through sports in Columbus. And then I kind of, after I kind of gave that up, I went into the gardening community in Columbus and tried to, help out. But that was kind of hard because some people just don't want to get help, or they think a community garden is where they can get ready to eat and go pull up your plants and go home and cook and not knowing even how to, pick greens or whatever. So I did that. A group of boys mentoring organization asked me to, set up a garden for their church. And I went over there, designed the garden, built a whole hoop structure. I don't know if you know that, with the plastic on it. Did that. And he asked me to go to another spot. I did that. But the young boys, they didn't want to. The first year they stuck. Second year, I said, well, let's start a business. I'll show you how to start a business. So as soon as I did that, they were through, but they were young teens. So girlfriend, school functions, all that, I understood. So what I did, I took it and went forward with it. And, I started, our sauces are fermented. And so I don't add any, if you look at some of all the major hot sauces, even the ones that's fermented, like Tabasco, they add vinegar to the process after the aging. So what I've said I wanted to do was to age it, ferment it, and then don't add any vinegar. And it started tasting pretty good. So it started with, I don't know if you know about pepper mash.
I do.
Okay, pepper mash is just peppers and salt. Okay, so I had to study up on fermentation. And so what I found out was that peppers have their own bacteria on it, lactic acid bacteria. And so that's when I, really started going in on it and found out that it tastes pretty good. And I still got some from 2013. And they're still I think it's done by now. And so the sauce we did with Old Moorish was a 7-year recipe. Now we don't intend to keep that up, but because after maybe a year, it's got a good taste to it. So, but if you taste the what we got right now, that's from a 7-year-old recipe or a 7-year-old process. And so in the meantime, I've learned about the bacteria. It's 3 different bacteria that you run into. And the one bacteria pH. I don't know if you know about pH.
Yep.
That's one thing that I'm glad I did go to school up in the food industry up at Ohio State and learned about pH. And I'm lucky, me and my wife, that we didn't open up some greens from a few years before because we might have killed ourselves.
So, yeah.
Yes, because we didn't know that when you package food or canned food, the pH has to be below 4.6. Okay. And you can do tomatoes in a water bath, but greens and stuff like that, low acid food, it has to be pressure canned. So it's the pressure and the heat that gets rid of the bad bacteria. And if you don't bring it up to 4.60, botulism can grow in it. And it multiplies, real fast by the half hour.
Wow.
And so that's poison.
Yeah.
We would have poisoned ourselves. So I'm glad that I did go and study that. And I've taken my studies a little bit further. There's a third bacteria that once the pH drops down to 4, is in the 4s. It's another bacteria that shows up that brings it on down into the 3s. And that's where we prefer it to be. So, and right now I want to perfect the pepper mash. We bought a lot of it. We bought some from a company in Louisiana, and then they closed up. So we had to kind of work on making our own. And so that's where we're at right now. We're going to do extensive research on that this year, and learn where we don't even have to work with nobody else. We'll learn how to do it. And this pepper mash that we were buying, the peppers came from Peru and Colombia and one of the islands. So we want to match that. Now I do a lot of spying on them, to see how long they did it, how much salt. I know percent salt. Add that with 20 pounds of pepper and just grind it up. Put it in a bucket, seal it with an airlock, and you watch it ferment. Lock up with water, and you'll see the gas coming up, bubbling out of there. And that's hydrogen. No. That's carbon dioxide. That's the gas. Because it exits out. Yes. And so inside that, botulism can't grow. Botulism cannot grow. So, and what we've done when we pull it out of the process, and this is what we're going to work on next too as well, is that when we have to heat it up to kill the yeast and the mold if it's present. And it don't kill you, it won't even make you sick, but you don't want that to alter your taste. So where we're at now is, lost my train of thought.
Take your time, Take your time.
Okay, thank you. I am nervous, and it's an honor to be here.
You're doing a great job, brother.
It's an honor to be here.
Fine, bro.
Okay, but so getting back to the mash, our big thing now is to grow our own pepper, and now we know what we need. It's not going to be a garden. It's got to be, a huge plot to get the amount of peppers that we need. So we're working on that as well. And another thing that I've done, is right after the Million Man March. I went to that, right? And when the brother said, I want everybody to reach in your pocket and pull out that dollar bill. And he held it, everybody held it up.
The green wave.
I looked up, I took a picture of that, by the way. But right there, I'm thinking that's $1 million right there.
That's right.
Okay, so when I left there, I went home and started an investment club. We're trying to shut it down now. It's been open that long. We've done a real good job with that. Wow. And I also started a bookstore selling our information.
Awesome.
You know, a bookstore. Nubian-knowledge.com. If you ever get a chance to look at it, we're still in operation.
Long westbound.
You know, so I've been, you know, I prepare myself to come into the temple. You know, before when I was younger, we didn't know anything about Africa. I mean, my age in Columbus, and I was in the military. Went overseas, met this Mexican couple, and one day they had a party. All the Mexicans came, and you know, the guys, they was drinking, talking in Spanish. So, and I said something, but the guy looked at, well, y'all don't even know who you are. And I couldn't get mad because I didn't. So I went home and started getting the newspaper and flipping page by page till I saw Africa. And that's how I started studying. And that made me eager to learn about ourselves. So right now, you know, and I'm going all in on this, you know, the research that Sister Dana Reynolds-Marnish has put out for us, you know, because it involves all of us and it goes back. It goes back. So that interests me. And, but I just got a few things I want to show you. I bought this from a brother. Have y'all ever heard of ASCAT?
ASCAT?
Yeah, ASCAT.
Yes.
A group that used to go to Africa all the time. I don't know what's going on with them now, but I brought this out from a brother that created this, and so this right here is pre-dynasty. All the everything that happened in Egypt. Okay, and you know, in our history, it's been hijacked so many times that they forget about this. You know, people that want to teach us about us, they forget about this.
They wasn't there. That's why they can't teach us that.
Yes.
They didn't exist.
Yes. And here's what all the way over here. That's where the Ptolemies come in.
Yep.
In Alexander, way over there. So all of this is our history. And they don't teach it in school. They don't teach it anywhere. So we have to teach that.
That's right.
That's where I come in. I want to teach our children and the adults that don't know. Because we have so many things that we can accomplish if we put these thoughts in our mind.
Right.
You know, so this is one thing that you know, I want to kind of put into perspective is when we're talking about medieval time and the time of Jesus, it's way down here. It's way down the line.
Yeah. Way
Egypt was old and losing steam at the time, you know, as far as we're concerned.
That's right.
And so it's got to be taught. And it has to be taught in perspective so that we can see where we're at. And, you know, it says that our prophet says that Moab asked the pharaohs,
Come on.
if they could move or go to the northwest shores of Africa.
Wow.
Okay. So what I found is that some of these Shechems in here,
Let's
they're not pharaohs. That's not our language.
That's right.
But the Shechems were Canaanites.
That's right.
So
They sat on the throne. That's
so you know that's
teaching, man.
we're learning. Our prophet has put this out there for us to learn, and then tells us learn about yourself,
That's right.
and that's what I'm doing.
Facts.
That's what I got to do, and that's what I got to teach. So
That's
that's
right.
why I'm here. Now this in our bookstore, and we run it out of our house. It's mostly, we used to have people come in, but it was kind of scary.
Understood.
You know, for some of the people we had coming in, so I had to kind of, you know, keep it out the house, and so we do it internet now.
Right.
And so, but our bookstore made a way for us to go to visit Africa, West Africa. And the first time we went, it was my family, we all wanted to just go do something. So we said, let's go to Africa. And man, that was a trip. When I came back, it was only a 2-week trip, but I kind of lost where I was at one time. We came back during it was Christmas. We was coming back during the Christmas holidays, and I saw these colored lights on the porch. I completely forgot what they were. I mean, that's how far removed Africa took me, because it put me in a place where I didn't know where I was. And when I got back, it reminded me, you back home. You back home. You left everybody. So we ended up going back, and this time we went back because I started playing the djembe. Everybody know what the djembe is?
Yes,
the drums. Yeah. I started learning to play, and I started learning from a brother,
talking drum,
and his name was Abu Kunta. We called him Abdu Kunta, but at home, when we went home with him, his family called him Abu.
Son of Dad.
And the Kuntas are Moors from Mauritania. That's what he was telling us. We're Moors. And so I said, well, I'm living with some Moors. and the whole family, they came and took care of us. When we went back after that, there was people on the street. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what happened to me. When you go, if anybody has been to Dakar, Senegal, you have to go catch the ferry to go out to Gorée Island. And so we sat in the terminal, and everybody was kind of sitting behind me. I was on another row, and I'm looking. All of a sudden, I look up, and I see this guy was looking at me, and this young lady was looking at me. They were sitting together. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm looking up at them. They still looking. So I said, okay, I'm going to watch them, because something's getting ready to happen. So I turned back like this to say something to everybody. And when I turned back this way, they were gone. I'm like, okay, where'd they go? I looked up and they were sitting next to me on both sides. Wow. So I'm like, okay, what's up? Said, are you, they said my name. My Christian name is Harold Lee. They said, are you Mr. Lee? I said, I sure am. They said, well, we're Heidi's children. There was a lady we met the previous year, and they saw me in the terminal after a few years, and they knew who we were. And that, so we left a lasting impression on them, and they left a lasting impression on us. Anyway, the Kuntas, they were real religious. Matter of fact, what we saw there was really, it was time to go to temple. It'd be like a parade. Tabaski, which is when Abraham was supposed to do what he did, got stopped. Tabaski, they sacrifice in Dakar, and they sacrifice lambs. Yeah. And so the one Tabaski we went to, we were present there. They paraded everywhere. And then at a certain time, then that's when all the lambs started coming in. On cars, on top of cars. Now they had them tied down like luggage. And, you could, like you hear the birds out here, you couldn't hear no birds. You could hear lamb everywhere. So that was an experience that I had. But the reason we went there is to learn the djembe, and we had some ladies that wanted to dance. So they learned dances from the older members that used to be a part of the National Ballet of Senegal. And my teacher was one of the lead drummers. That means you're one of the best in the whole country. And so that's who I was learning from, and that's who we had a chance to go back home with. And when we got there, his younger nephews and everybody in the family, they were all drummers and singers. And we'd be sitting there one day, in the morning. So all of a sudden one started humming a tune, then the next one starts singing. Then the next one starts, jumping up, dancing a little bit, and then all of a sudden they're playing drums. So that's what we did all day for 2 weeks. And so I did learn a lot. I've been drumming for about 20 years now. And but the Kuntas, even though he said that they were from Mauritania, I found this article, and this brother here is Bu Khalifa Kunta, and he is from the order of Qadriya.
Quadi Sufi order.
Pardon?
The Quadi Sufi order.
I'm
Qadiri Sufi order.
yes, it's right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And so he was saying they're from Mauritania, but they are from Libya. So I'm looking at this like, wow. And at the time, I had not sat with Sister Dana by then. And I'm looking at this because, and then I found out that they weren't talking about Mauritania, the country.
Right.
They're talking about, well, I got to.
Right.
Oh, you took it right.
That's right. I got you ready.
But you know, I got disappointed with this. I really hate. I'm embarrassed to show you this. But and if you go look at the map of Numidia, the 1850 map, 1850. You can see over here is Numidia all the way over. Then it's Mauritania. Then it was Numidia. No. Yeah, it was Mauritania. Then it was Numidia, and then over here where Carthage was called Zugatani or Zugatani. Okay, so the reason I brought this map up is because of the studies with Sister Dana, and honors to her.
Yeah, she's serious.
Honors to her because
She's serious.
her research can't be disputed. There's people looking at her research and it cannot be disputed. She's going all in. So this is what I'm going to be studying. And I may not know it now. Matter of fact, if you see the videos with the class that I was in with her, a lot of them, it was just me. And I couldn't understand that to save my life, you know, because anytime somebody teaching something about on the college level, on the scholar level, I'm going to be there.
That's right.
I'm going to be
That's
there.
right.
And so, but what this is showing, and that's what I found out in Africa, you know, matter of fact, let me go back a step. The Kuntas were part of the largest group in Dakar, Senegal, the Wolof. The Wolof. And that's what we learn, okay, they're Wolof. But when you say Wolof, you're talking about the language group. You're not talking about the people. Okay, so that's what I learned in Senegal on all our trips, is that when you know the names of the people, you know who they are. Okay, they don't go by more, they go by a name.
National tribe. Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
And when you get that family name, that's when you know who you're talking about. That's how to study it. And so some of the names that Sister Marnita taught about are on this map. But this is in North Africa. And she says she started out, well, she ended up that teaching it from Genesis 20, chapter 22. That's a map. From chapter 22, you know, and says that that's who we are. That's who we are. So, but the people, remember now, when Moses and the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, where'd they go?
Egypt.
No, they were in Egypt.
Oh, they were in
Remember, they
Egypt.
were fleeing out. Where'd they go?
That's right,
Anybody?
that's right. They were making their way back to the.
They crossed the Red Sea, you right in Arabia. You right in Arabia. So she's saying
Right,
that
Wow.
the people of chapter 22 were all in South Arabia, where Yemen is. Where Yemen is. And then, like, if you look at the south, from the south, okay, if you look up from the south and go up the coast, you're going to run into the Hijaz. That was a trading area. And we're talking about no other color skinned people in Arabia. It was like that for a while. It was like that for a while. And above the Hejaz is Mecca. Well, actually, before that, I saw on a map she showed us. I got to go find it. I'm still looking. But it was a place called Kus, K-U-S, and another place called Kinana. So that's what she's saying. This is where we come from. This is a part of it. I don't, not, you know, if I'm saying it wrong, somebody correct me. And I know if I'm saying it wrong, she will correct me when she hears this, if she does. And so, but some of the writers of the day were saying that it's unfathomable, and that's my word, to consider or conceive a light-skinned Arab during that time.
That's right.
Okay, so and if you try to talk to these people, because I debate a lot on the internet, and so when you talk to the Egyptians of today, all they know is slavery.
Yep.
That's all they point to us. And you kill each other and do this and do that. We're going to change that around. We're going to change that, you know, by teaching our people who they are, like our prophet told us to do.
Wake up time.
It's wake up time. It's time to move, especially now because of the what do you call it? Where they don't want us to teach the history, our
Critical
history.
race theory.
Critical race theory. Do y'all know? And what they're basing that on is a hijacked version of critical race theory. The critical race theory was how to get the discrimination, the conversation in the courtroom. That's what critical race theory is about. It's not about us teaching their children or anybody's children the wrong thing. So even with that, they turned it around just like that. You know, with this guy, it's all kind of craziness he had in there, but it was the complete opposite of what critical race theory is. It belongs in the courtroom.
Wow.
It belongs in the courtroom, not something that somebody's teaching in school. So that's got to come out. And you know, we can't really rely on the news, because some things they look like they're involved as well. You know, because they hear this stuff and now they're repeating that, you know, more than what the truth is. So we have to teach.
That's right.
We have to teach. So that's my part of it. And for the temple, I want to really do some more research and try to recruit, you know, potential members. Everybody's a potential member. It's whether or not they want to do it.
Wow.
You know, come into the temple and learn truth. And so, but that's what I want to add to this temple. You know, and bring others who want to do the same thing. And so I'm trying to think. I was going to go into
That $300 book.
I thought that, yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. This is her book. This is her book.
What's the name of it?
It's, I'm so glad you asked. The African Arabian Origins of the Hebrew Bible.
Yep.
And it says the ethno-historical study. And then under that is Dana Reynolds - Marniche. Okay. A lot went into this. And we have to learn this.
It's a great book.
Yes. And the information she's, you know, it was so, I didn't know, most of our time with our bookstore was getting Africa, you know, Africa. We don't have anything, we're starting to get it now, about Arabia, you know, because the people came out of Arabia and were back and forth.
That's right.
On the other side. And in we're talking about the Ethiopians.
The Cushites, yeah, because they ruled.
Yes.
They had a colony.
Yes.
Already was a colony.
Mm-hmm. And she says there was three waves that came across West Africa. I mean, the top of Africa, North Africa, 3 waves. And so we know that we populated the earth because in Sheikh Anta Diop's book, he has a chart there as civilization of barbarism.
Excellent book.
Mm-hmm.
in that chart, it says that we were on this earth for at least 130,000 years before anybody else shows up. And when they did show up, they came from us.
Yep.
Okay, they found their skeletons in the caves in France,
Yep, in Europe.
the Cro-Magnon.
That's right.
Okay, so a lot of us don't know that, and you know, that's how I started studying. Well, I read Golden Age of the Moors, and I read her chapter 3 in Golden Age of the Moors, but I never did imagine that she would go further with this and write her own book. It's an expensive book, but I mean, to me, it's worth paying for an education. So I don't mind paying it.
How much does it cost?
It was $250.
Oh, okay.
$250.
That's about.
So yes, yes. So
Everything about us is expensive. We know that.
yes.
Everything.
And one thing that and matter of fact, if you want to learn more about her, is Afro-Asiatic Blogspot. Excellent. On that, I'm pretty sure that I saw it said that the Berbers and the Moors are the same people.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So in order for us to learn about the Moors, we have to learn about the Berbers too.
That's right.
And as far as who went up into Spain and Portugal, whether or not it was Berber or Moor, everybody knows it as the Moors, but they're the Moors too. And one of the brothers shared in a document from South Carolina. This was before the Continental Congress. It was a slave law in South Carolina. And in that it says that, and somebody might have brought that up. I think the brother brought up a little bit about it. I can't remember, but it says that the Berbers and whatever he said are the slaves. And then when somebody's in one group, it was with the stroke of a pen. It was a stroke of a pen, and they took somebody else's freedom.
Sure.
So it worked.
But then when you go down the line, it says that the Moor was free. So how can that be? You know, they're mixed up. Okay. Okay. So that's just a little taste of what I'm going to offer. You know, what I'm bringing to the temple. And, you know, so we can educate a little bit more. When our prophet tells us to study yourself, that's what we're going to do.
That's right, Paul.
That's what we're going to do. So I don't want to take up too much more time. That's you'll be seeing me and hearing from me. Islam. That's
Islam. Let's give our sheep a round of applause. Taking us on a mash journey with the hot sauce mash and all way. Islam. It is what it is. But with that being said, family, I want to get ready to break bread, and then when we come back, I want to hear from my brothers from you got to go. I wanted to hear from my brother from Temple New Afterthought, but we got to break bread before the food get cold. But I also want to hear from my brother Daryl Johnson Bay. I want to hear from my brother.
I'm working.
I got you, brother.
I got you.
Oh man, do I need to call them? They know me. I'm the people's grand sheep. Come here real quick, brother. Come here. We can take 2 minutes. Come here, brother. Because you stop me in the streets all the time, and we be moving and shaking. We get a quick words in real quick every time we can. Let's give our brother the elder a solid round of applause. We know real conscious people around here. Hey, internet conscious. I don't know what that is. But we ready to break bread.
No, I understand.
But no, my brother, you already know.
The brother asked me to come out here today, and I'm here. And I'm working while I'm here. You know, by law, I'm a barber sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing, right? Kind of sort of now. But I'm here, right? And I want to give you some honor, because it takes a lot to put this together. You see, it takes a lot. I seen you yesterday with the cheers in your truck.
Where you was at?
Don't worry.
Why you always be up on me, man? You be catching me everywhere.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But look, he told me to come in and I'm gonna talk about the resurrection, right? The resurrection is what we see here now and what it means to me, right? Just a little touch.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother.
All right, so in Kemet, the resurrection is of Asa. Asa is resurrecting out there now.
That's right, bro.
You see what I'm saying? You see the new growth. You see, now, how did we get here? How did we get? Some people say, January the 1st is the new year. No, it's not. You know, everybody say Chinese got their own thing.
Right.
So how did we get here? Those Romans. Those Romans. You see what I'm saying? They changed everything around because they ruled the world for 1,000-some years.
Right.
So if I rule the world for 1,000-some years, I also can change things.
Right.
I say, see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that they took the calendar and switched it around whenever they wanted to.
That's right.
Everybody knows September is what?
7.
See what I'm saying?
It's 9.
October,
8.
8, November, 9, December, 10. So how we get there?
Right.
March supposed to be the first month of the year because that is the new year. You see what I'm saying? So in some of my studies, I'm not just a Kemetic.
Right.
I am a spiritualist. I believe in the one and the all of the all. That all made all of us come here today. Whatever all you want to call that, that's what I am. I am a Moor.
I hear you, Mo.
I'm a Christian.
It's not.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I know how to come, how to step whenever I need to be. You see what I'm saying? So with the sun, let's talk about the sun, the birth of the sun.
Right.
So what we are dealing with is that it's the sun at this time is at the bottom of the equator,
Okay.
which we call death in a sense. Symbolism, sign and symbolism. Okay? So as the sun is at the bottom and the sun is rising up over the equator, it stays here, which we call the equinox. You see, at a present time. The equinox, when you go to church, the preacher give you your palm plants and everything, and the palm is a representation of equal. On both sides, it's equal, day and night. But as the sun rises up over the equator, it rises again. It is the birth of the S-U-N, the sun, which we call Amen Ra. And Amen Ra is not just a name, it is the name of the sun. I don't care what you call it, because we all got that.
That's right.
And the sun, what? Without the sun, what we got?
Life.
No, without it.
Oh, without the sun. I thought you said we got the sun. We got. No, without it, we got
Without the
death.
sun, we ain't got
It's a
nothing.
wrap.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's over.
So that's why we always give honor to the sun. Now, some people can say that sun, this sun, that sun. But if you study the sciences, you know what sun. And I ain't here to tell you that sun, but I'll share. Thank you, brother. Continue good work, bro. Wait. And I bring you greetings from the Temple of New African Thought. My son is a minister there. He's just like this brother here. They're hard workers with his wife right there. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give honor to us. And we also have a bookstore inside our store. We sell all kind of herbs. It's a holistic store. We own 5525 Hartford Road. Come visit us sometime.
Peace, family.
Ashe.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
I love you, brother. I love you.
Too. All right.
Hey, so with that being said, family, we want to get the food going real quick, and then we're gonna come back. We got a few more people, brothers and sisters. Don't leave until you hear from my brothers that's coming forward. We got to hear my brother Daryl Johnson Bay and a few other bays in the building. But with that being said, family, I want to put it right there. That to make sure everybody get a seat. We might don't even need it right there, actually. We may be all right. With that being said, family, we might don't need it right there. We might be all right. Just take it out there for me, please. I think everybody got a seat. We have an extra seat coming up right there. So family, if you will, I'm going to in a second, right? Turn it over to the caterers, right? But before we turn it over to the caterers, I just want to say, man, we got to give thanks to the universal creator together, family. Because I'm telling you, family, I don't see myself here. I don't know how I got here. For real. I don't know how I get here. I don't know how we're able to purchase something like this. I don't know how we're able to afford something like this. Ain't nobody say buy no tickets. I say come show me some love. So show me some love. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how that works, but I know it works. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do right, can't nothing go wrong. And there ain't no right way to do wrong, as I say on my show. So with that being said, fam, I just want to say, if you will, whether you bow your head, whether you close your eyes, I just want you to just go into thought with me and let me just bless this food. Dear God, thank you for all the blessings that you continue to give us. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for keeping us wise, awoke, and vigilant during these trying times. And most importantly, we want to thank you for this food that we're about to receive for the nourishments of our bodies so we can go on to the next day and unfold it into our greatness. We want to thank you for the hands that prepared this food. We want to thank you for safe travels as we came to and as we will leave. But most importantly, we thank you for the love that you put in our heart that we can share the love with one another. And we thank you for all things. Amen. Peace and love. It's all, family. So I'm going to turn it over to the caterers. We're going to eat. Family, you on the internet, you can't eat with us, but we'll be back in a little bit and share some knowledge with you. Peace and love. So I'm going to turn it over to the caterers and she can call it out.
So we'll just start at, we'll just have the
Let's call that work, family. Let's call that work. That's called that work right there.
So everything is
The people's
vegan,
grand sheet
so
is putting in the work.
Animal products, but we have
Sometimes.
vegan mac and cheese.
Sometimes.
We have jalapeno
Unity
rice
Hall.
with vegan meatballs and
Unity
gravy.
Hall, we putting in some
We
work.
have some stuffed mushrooms that's stuffed with like a vegan crab cake and fried with cilantro.
Unity
rice.
Hall. What's up, Crip?
And then we have
Crypto.
a Caesar salad over on the side. And that's the vegan salad recipe.
Unity Hall,
We're
family.
called Your Wish, My Dish. So look us up.
Thank you, family, for all your support. And if you're not vegan, if you're not vegan, do like they said on that Trading Places. You know, and that lady was on the bus, the old lady, she said, I'll marry him if he's a prince. So, you know what I mean? Just take a chance. Go. Right, I'll marry. So take a chance. Take a chance. Take a bite, see what it tastes like. You know what I mean?
We'll have the sisters and the children come up first. This is following the brothers who come up.
Look, let me take y'all around Unity Hall, fam. And this is by invite only. This is from the hands and all the donations. You see what I'm saying? If you donated to Moorish, I got to show out a little bit. Y'all excuse me a little bit. Y'all excuse me for a little bit. If you made a donation and hit the Cash App on Moorish World TV, you have donated to a good cause. This is Unity Hall, where we put boots on the ground. This is the opening of Unity Hall, the Moorish Science Temple of America here in Baltimore. So what Unity Hall is that it doesn't matter what you believe in or what you profess to believe in. This will be a place where you can come and you can unite with us so we can get some work done in this community. Also, this is the Moorish Science Temple of America, where we espouse the orthodoxy of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Lastly, upstairs will be the Moorish World TV studios. We will be in the Moorish World TV studios after this day. This is the opening day. You know what I mean? ODB was here the other day. Look at it today, ODB. We did it. We made it. Look, mommy. I did it. No, man. That's right. So with that being said, family, look, I'm trying to tell you why they running their mouth. See that? American flag, Moorish flag, why they running their mouth? We putting in the work, family. Putting in the work. We just gonna put in the work, family. That's all we gonna do. And we're gonna call them frauds or frauds. You know that fraud said. The fraud said, I got a sexual charge. That's what it said. That's all these people. They from here. Ask them. This fool is crazy. But anyway, we'll be back in a few minutes. We got a couple more speakers to speak. We'll be back in a few minutes. Come here. That's my bro. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. That's my bro. I can't say his name because y'all might try to attack him. That's right. Yeah, Cannon Bay now. But yeah, family. Look, I'm gonna let everybody get their grub, but this is what we doing. This is what we doing here. You feel me? This is what we doing. Putting in some work. You follow me? Peace and love, family. I'll be back. I'm gonna start it up again. I'm gonna start it up again in a minute after the meal is being served. Cryptonomics, thank you for everything. If you ever made a donation to Moorish World TV, you have made a contribution to the community here in Baltimore. And I'm gonna try to duplicate this every place where our people is living in subpar conditions. You follow what I'm saying? I'm gonna duplicate this. You know what I mean? We had brothers in the nation. We had brothers in the Afro Kemet thought community. We got Moors here. We got just regular everyday people here. We got some Christians here. We got unity. This is what we live this thing. You see what I'm saying? Like you can go on the internet and you can make up whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Yeah.
I'm speaking for Temple 19.
Okay.
Goodman Bay.
Hey, Goodman Bay. Davis L tired today?
Yeah, he told me to speak.
Man,
I'm a sheep in medicine.
man, let me tell you something. You my friend more than anything. What you talking about? You know what I'm
He
saying?
just told me to speak for the Temple.
Okay, I got you. But anyway, this is what it really looked like. I mean, what type of fool like Sinetta can't stand next to me. I mean, you can't stand next to me, man. We put in work. I gotta wait till I finish. Come here.
Come
Come here, man. Come here, boy. Come here. Come around.
I got my flashlight, man.
You got You gotta wait. What time you leaving though? Won't you leave it with me? Leave it with me. We ain't over to 8. Leave it with me. I send it to you. Got anything on it?
It's not, but it's not. It's a lot of space.
Listen, this is my brother and my friend. You know what I mean? Is it all right if I call you Elder?
I don't know.
Eddington now?
I don't know. I ain't that old yet.
But you my elder though.
Yeah, but I got a couple
You
more.
you one of my teachers.
I got a couple more rounds to acclaim.
You the one. Star, I'm gonna be with you in a second. I gotta talk to my. This is one of my mentors. Yeah, this is one of my mentors. So listen, I always tell people like. So because I talk about Moorish science so heavy on the internet, I always tell people, and I mention your name, I mention Edward's L name, but I always tell people if you don't have no elders, you really can't stand on what you say you know, because you got to have some connection. And in many ways, you have been my connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm good.
You want to come over here too? You my brother. You've been fasting. But listen, so I'm saying like if you don't have no elders, you really don't have no one to really connect you back. Let me tell you, this brother here was one of the ones that tell me stories about his journey in Chicago, you know, meeting Moors that actually walk with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is why a lot of things that I researched, I had a starting point from my brother D. Eddington L, Sheik and Divine Minister. I didn't have a starting point from the internet. And so if you want to learn Moorish science, you need to get elders. You need to get elders that know somebody that been somewhere and that know a little something and have a little bit of experience. And that's what I got. You want to say something to my people?
Islam, praise Allah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Brother, you can talk, bro.
I know, but I just wanted to, did you say that Moors get the foundation from the internet?
Yeah, Moors are getting their foundation from the internet. Here's another brother. Come here, Brother Thomas, baby.
He wasn't one of them that got no foundation from the internet.
Hey, man, I got beat up in Sunday school. You don't remember that time I bought my computer trying to argue with Evansdale? And he said, no, we ain't talking about that today. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. Yeah, he ready to eat crip. But this is what I'm saying. Watch this. This is what I try to tell people, man. It's like Moorish science is bigger than what you see on the internet. You have people that have experience. You have people that have skin in the game. This brother has skin in the game. He just jumped up, went to Chicago, and he was telling me that Bro, you tell me that your money was funny and everything.
Did I tell you that, mother?
Yeah.
Packed up and rolled up.
He just packed up and
man,
rolled.
Allah was so merciful. I mean, He has opened up so many doors for me once I got up there.
And let me tell you something that he don't like people to mention, but he was one of the ones that was on the team to be able to compile the oral statements. And that's what people, so when people like, they got over 1,000 and 7,000 oral statements, you know, and he was one of the ones to actually compile the oral statements where people say, the prophet said, oral statement number such and such. A lot of that stuff is made up.
Yeah.
One of the things that you said to me years ago, we was reading something and you said, that don't sound like my prophet.
Yeah.
And I never lost that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like,
Okay. I never lost that. That when I read something that's associated with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I take it from my elder, my teacher, my friend, Sheikh and Divine Minister. I always say, that don't sound like my prophet, or that sound like my prophet.
Remember in one of the statements, the prophet says that his sheep know the sound of his voice.
Yeah.
This is how we feel it. You know, we know when our prophet said something when he didn't.
Right.
And we are so blessed in receiving our prophet that we know how he look.
That's
We
right.
ain't got 1,000 pictures of him to know how he look, know how he talk, know how he sound.
Come on, man.
You know, I mean, this is something that we dream about. This is something that we feel. I mean, you know, it's just so clear, more.
I watched this elder right here demonstrate about the prophet, and tears come to his eyes.
Yeah.
Tears come to his eyes. This is a scholar right here, and I'm not talking about no internet scholar. Brother Thomas Bey, you know what I mean? An accomplished author as it relates to the scholarship and the historicity as well as the spirituality of Moorish science, Islamism. This is who y'all gonna have to get to know. When y'all talk about scholarship and people talking about, we ain't talking about bodega scholars. We talk about scholarship where books are written with where they got the little line on the bottom, where what they call them little lines. They got footnotes.
Well, you can go verify what it said. You can question anything you
They
want
got
to know.
footnotes. You see what I'm talking about? Footnotes. And this is a scholar right here. And I've been trying to bend his arm to bring him on the show so y'all can get his books, but he don't want to sell his books right now.
I'm gonna sell them next week.
But that's my brother Thomas Bey.
Praise the Lord, Mark.
Matter of fact,
I'm happy to be with you.
matter of fact, if you think I'm playing, this book here is by Sheikh Ronald Thomas Bey.
It has a second volume that is getting ready to come out. This has been getting ready to be reprinted, and the second volume will follow.
Now, this book here will give you a clear concept about the difference of Islamism as it relates to our Islam and its connection and everything in between.
Indeed.
This one here. But what I'm telling you is that we need to stop taking these people off the internet that has no history, they have no foundation, they have no anchor. And you need to anchor yourself. If you really want to learn history, you need to anchor yourself with brothers like this. And I will be the connection for brothers like this. If you want to learn real Moorish science, not no internet stuff, real Moorish science, over 20, 30 years of research and dedication. Right here. Right here.
My pleasure to serve. My pleasure
It's
to
not,
serve.
brother, you know I'm gonna hold you to it. You just told me it's gonna be about 4,000 people see this video. So you just told them that you're gonna come over here.
I keep my word. I give my word, I keep my word. Right?
All right, Islam.
So I'm looking forward to working with you.
Islam.
I'm
Islam.
glad to see you too, Lord.
And look what
Yeah.
I got it on deck.
You got it on deck.
Come on, man. Stop playing.
Stop.
Stop.
I love you,
brother.
I love you
I'm
too.
getting me some food in a minute. Let me
I'm
wrap
doing
this
the
up.
same thing.
Yeah.
Islam.
So see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got to have some elders, family, if you want to really understand what Moorish science is all about. And you don't have to know what Moorish science is all about to be joining or anything like that. But just so you can be in the know, you know what I'm saying? I am one with bona fide, verified elders. This is why I talk so boldly. You know what I'm saying? And these are elders on the ground. This is why I talk so boldly. And if I'm out of order, they'll check me. You see? But I got to get me something to eat. I'm going to be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Islam, these brothers got 30 or 40 years of research. Peace and love, family. And don't worry about the stuff that you hear about Taharkabey. If they not showing you sources, if they not reading the charges, and they not doing that, get out of here with that. With that being said, family, peace and love. I'm about to grab me something to eat so we can keep this thing moving. And I will be back in about 20 minutes with some more people getting busy. Peace and love. I'm the People's Ranching.